Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where we're working together step by step through the ABRSM Theory grades. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets. They're available in US letter or A4 to accompany each step of this series. There's also a page with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can also access information about the books that I have available. I've written How to Take Your ABRSM Music Theory exam. It's full of tips and techniques on how to best prepare for your exam, and also how to best make use of the time when you're in the exam room working through your paper on exam day. So if you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find it all there. If you can give me a like, that'd be really great, and subscribe to my channel to keep updated. I hope that you're enjoying working through this with me. I'm certainly enjoying working through it. And so let's press on now. We're going to be looking at the topic of chords. So if you turn in your PDF document to section H, I've just put a little bit of information there to supplement what's in the ABRSM Music Theory and Practice workbook. And so if you turn with me to page 30 in that workbook, we'll have a look at the topic of naming chords. So you'll just need a pencil and an eraser. You may find it helpful also to have a keyboard sketched out somewhere, just a rough sketch. It's helpful to visualise if that's the way that your brain works. It's certainly a good idea, even if you're not a piano player, to just have a basic knowledge of the piano keyboard. I would always sketch that out. And so this is section H in your PDF document. So let's have a little look at this information talking about naming chords. I have to admit, this is one of my favourite topics. It's easy peasy once you get into it, and the marks on the exam paper are quite generous for this section also, so it's a bit of a joy to me, this section is. Now when we describe the steps in a scale, we use numbers, just ordinary numbers, to describe the individual notes of the scale. So for example, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on, will just be ordinary numbers. When we build a triad on that note, we use a Roman numeral. So the Roman numeral 1 will tell us that in C major we've built a triad on the first note. So the Roman numeral tells us the chord. The new information that we're going to have now is that we're now going to use these chords and rearrange or shuffle the notes around, and that is officially referred to as an inversion. It just means rearrange notes. And so in your PDF document you'll see that I've written out in C major, chord 1 is built on C, so in root position we have C, E, G, and you can see that that's built from the first, the third and the fifth note of the scale, C, E, G, and that's a C major chord in root position because C is at the base. And so we could either just call it chord 1, or 1A tells us it's with the key note in the bass. However, if we rearrange that, instead of C, E, G, if we change and move from that C to this C, we've got E, G, C. It's still a C chord, we've still got the same notes. However, the C is no longer at the bottom of the chord, it's no longer got the C at its root, it's got the E at its base, and so we've inverted it, we've shuffled the notes, and so that's now the first inversion. And so we would call that chord 1B. And then if we rearrange those chords again, instead of E, G, C, those notes again, instead of having E, G, C, we'll have G, C, E. It's still a C chord, it's still notes C, E and G. However, we've rearranged them, it's another inversion. And so we would refer to that as 1C, because the third note of the chord is now at the base. And that's the final inversion, because if we rearrange again, we're back to C, E, G root position. And that's just what we do on each chord built up the steps of the scale. So the C chord is built on step 1. So the D chord is built on step 2, and again we rearrange that. So we've got the 1st, the 3rd and the 5th, that's root position, D, F, A. If we shuffle those around and we have F, A, D, that's an inversion, and so we would call that chord 2B because it's built on the 2nd note of the scale, but we've rearranged the notes. And if we rearrange again, we've got A, D, F. It's still chord 2, the notes D, F, A, built on the 2nd degree of the scale, but we've rearranged them, and so that's now chord 2C because that's our 2nd inversion. And so you can see that we've just rearranged the notes. The order is rearranged, and we call the chord either A, B or C depending upon which note is at its base. And so let's have a look at that in practice, and let's just look at this example here. You may find it easier to just visualise it in letters instead of on manuscript paper and notes. And so let's look at all of the chords that will be appropriate to the key of B flat major. So we've got on the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th and the 5th note of the scale. Number 3 we don't use very often, but we'll just continue to write everything out because it's easier instead of just skipping one. So the 1st note of the scale is B. It's actually B flat, but we don't need to worry about all of those because the key signature will take care of all of that. Let's just get the letter names. So we've got B, C, D, E, F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we build up the 1st, the 3rd and the 5th. So B, C, D, E, F, C, D, E, F, G, D, F, D, E, F, G, A, skipping too far ahead then, E, F, G, A, B, and F, G, A, B, C. And we know that that's correct because 1, 3, 5, there's the beginning of chord 5. And so to help us, we can even say, well, there's our root position, there's our 1st inversion, there's our 2nd inversion. So we could, depending which note is in the bass, there's our A, B, C. So if you just sketch this out before you even look at anything, and then all the thinking is done, and it's plain sailing from this point on. So once you've got your prep work done, all the thinking's in place. And so let's look at the example they've given us. So we have here the notes E, E, G, C. And so that's those notes here, E, E, G, C. There's a duplication of a note because we've only got 3 notes in a triad, triad being the clue there, tri is 3. And so one of the notes will have to be doubled to make a 4-part harmony. So we know that we've got a chord 2, and because the E is in the bass, we know it's a chord 2B. Let's look at the next chord, F, C, F, A. F, C, F, A, that's the notes of chord 5, and because the note F is in the bass, it's chord 5A, so you could just write chord 5. When there's nothing else written, it's accepted to be 5A, or you could put the A in if that helps you. By all means, you could just sketch that in. And then this last one, we've got a B, D, F, B. Of course, I know it's flats, but the key signature takes care of all of that. We don't need to concern ourselves. And so we know that that's a chord 1. And because the B, or the B flat as it were, is in the bass, we know it's a chord 1A, so just 1 will suffice, or you could say 1A if that helps you. And so let's have a look at this next one, and then once you've got the hang of that, it's really quite simple, and this is a really enjoyable question. First of all, we have to discover what our key is. So we've got no key signature at all, no accidentals, and so therefore we are in the key of C major. If it is that your chords don't fit in and you're not getting the accepted 1, 2, 4, 5 chords, if it's coming out with strange configurations, then the chances are you've got your key wrong. However, I think we can be pretty certain that we're in C major here because there are no sharps or flats anywhere to be seen. And so let's just map out our chords. We want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're in C major, so chord 1 is built on a C, 2 is D, 3 is E, 4 is F, 5 is G. I know that chord 3 doesn't come up. It's not an often used chord, but we might as well just include it just for the ease of counting up in step. So the triads are C, E, G, first, third, fifth, D, F, A. If you find it easier, you can always just picturise that C, E, G, D, F, A. Use whatever helps you to just get those written out simply and without confusion. So E, G, B, F, A, C, G, B, D, and we know that's 1, 3, 5, so there's our fifth beginning chord 5. That's another double check to make sure that you've not gone wrong. So that's all of the thinking done, and so now let's just pop those into place here so we can accurately describe these chords. So we've got the notes B, D, G. So that's a chord 5, and now we can add a little bit more detail because we could just get this ready. We know it's A, B, C. There are our root position, first inversion, second inversion, and so because the B is at the base, we know it's a 5, B. Let's have a go at the next one. So we've got notes E, G, C, C. So we know that that's a chord 1, and because the E is in the bass, we know that it's a chord 1B. It's the first inversion. So nearly there now. D, F, A, D, F. Actually got 5 parts here. So we know that that's a chord 2, and the D is in the bass. And so we could either just leave it at that, or if you prefer, you could refer to it as 2A. Either of those would be acceptable. Let's carry on. So we now have a G, E, G, C. And so we know that that's a chord 1. And because the G is in the bass, it's a 1C. It's the second inversion. So I hope that's becoming clear to you. So why not try the next couple on your own? Just press pause and then you can re-access into the video when you've had a go, and we'll check those through together. So the first job for this is to figure out what key we're in. We have a key signature of B flats, so we presume that that's F major. However, we need to check through and make sure there's no other clues, no raised seventh to tell us it's a minor key. So I think we're in F major for sure. If your chords aren't looking like the standard chords, then you know you've got the key wrong, so go back and just rearrange and rethink that. But I think we can be fairly certain we're in F major here. Just got the key signature, so we need to just map out our chords. Let's get all the thinking done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So chord 1 is built on an F, 2 is G, A, B, C is 5. So first, third, fifth to build up the triad, F, A, C, G, B, D, A, C, E, B, D, F, C, E, G. Your key signature will take care of all of the accidentals. That's sufficient for our purposes. And then we know that we've got root position is A, B, C to give us the inversions. So that's all the thinking done. And now we can just crack on and correctly name these chords. So we have here F, C, F, A. That's a chord 1. And that will suffice because the F is in the bass. However, you could refer to it as 1A if you preferred to. It's It's not absolutely necessary, but you wouldn't be wrong to do that. Let's look at the next one. We have a B, G, D, G. And so we have a chord 2 here. And because the B is in the bass, we know that it's a 2B. Let's look at the next one. We have a D, B, F, B. And so we have a chord 4. Of course they're B flats, but the key signature takes care of all of that. And then the D is in the bass, so we know that it's the first inversion, so that's 4B. Let's have a look at this last one. We have an E, C, G, C, and so that's all of the notes of chord 5. And the E is at the bass, and so that's a 5B. Let's have a look at this next one. Now then, we need to name the key. So at first glance we think, yep, this is D major. We have a key signature of 2 sharps. However, glance through, we've got lots of A sharps dotted around, and we would explain that A sharp is a raised 7th. And so if A sharp is the 7th, the 8 is B. That's B minor, which shares the same key signature as D major. And so that all now makes sense. So we're in B minor. That's the point where you might just go wrong. However, you'll start to notice that none of your chords would fit. If you tried to work this out in D major, none of your chords would be making any sense. And then that would tell you that you've got the wrong key and you just need to rethink that. So we're now safely confident that we're in B minor. So let's just map out our chords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So chord 1 is built on a B. C, D, E, F takes us to chord 5 in step, and then we'll build up the triads. As I've said before, if you find it difficult to just do that off the top of your head, you can just build a 1, 3, 5 using a piano keyboard just to help you. 1, 3, 5. So let's just quickly put those in place. B, D, F, C, E, G, D, F, A, E, G, B, F, A, C. And then we can even put our root position as A, B, C for the next 2 inversions. There we go. And so now we've done all the thinking and we can just get on and answer this last little question here. So we have a B, B, D, F. That's a chord 1. And because the B is in the bass, we could leave it at that, or you could say 1A if you prefer to. Now the fact that there's an A sharp immediately tells us that it's a chord 5 here. We've got an A, C, F, C. So we can see that it's a chord 5 because the A sharp is our raised 7th, which is part of that chord. And then the A sharp is the bass note, and so it's a 5B. Let's crack on. And so we have a G, E, G, B. So we have a chord 4. And then because the G is in the bass, the middle note is in the bass, and so that's a 4B. Let's look at this next one. E, E, G, C. That's the notes of chord 2. The E is the bass note, and so the middle note is the bass note. We're in that first inversion, which is a 2B. Here again, we've got this telltale raised 7th, the A sharp, which gives us the clue. It's F, C, F, A sharp. It's a chord 5. And because the F is in the bass, it's a root position, so nothing else is required. So we'll leave that for this video. I do hope that that's helpful to you. We'll continue this exercise in the next video. If you can give me a like, that would be really encouraging to me. Please do subscribe and stay updated. There's lots more to come. Please do visit sharonbill.com and make sure that you make use of all of the resource that's available to you there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.